Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday morning AirRestore webinar. It is April Fool's Day, but we're not fooling around. This is the time of week we get together and really share a lot of information about what's going on, what the status is, and try to answer questions. We've got a great panel today joining us. And so if I can, I think I'm just going to start right out and go around the panel and have everybody introduce yourself and where you're at and any comments you want to make. Keep them short. So if we can start out with Sherry.
Hi, I'm Sherry. I'm in New Jersey right now. Like I told you, it's a beautiful day here. And I think spring is here. Thank God.
It's getting here, that's for sure. Lori.
Good morning. This is Lori in Crossville, Tennessee.
Good morning to you. And Ken.
Ken and Mary Dockery, Spring Branch, Texas.
Good morning. And I've got John and Barb. You're on.
Yep, John Barb Jordan, Oakland, Illinois. It's a beautiful sunny day.
All right, Eric.
Eric Converse up here in Minneapolis, and John needs to take off that Blackhawks jersey. This is wild territory. Hello.
And Dave Ball.
I'm from Arkansas and David Ball, and we're excited here.
Cool, very good. Dave and Lori, good morning.
Morning, this is Lori. I'm in Fort Worth, Texas. Dave's at work. He'll be back in 2 weeks.
All right. Well, good to see you. And let's see, I got Rick Stein, you're on?
Yes, sir. Rick Stein in Fairgrove, Missouri.
And I have a second Ken and Mary, and I'm not sure who that is. And that's okay. So welcome, everybody. And panel, thank you for this morning for getting up and taking part in this. You know, we record this, and the idea is that we make it available to everybody so that we can get up and do our thing early in the morning on a Saturday morning, and yet people are still able to look and get the most current information we can. And so let's just, I think I'll just kind of start out with a little bit of where we're at and what the status is and what we think is happening. And if I could ask everybody to please mute, we're getting some feedback. Rick, I think maybe you. So let's just talk about where we're at. Number one, this is the end of the halfway point of our 2-month pre-launch that we had planned. This is our first end of the month. There's certainly a lot of things that have to happen at the end of the month. We've been very, very busy, but the thing that is really, really encouraging more than anything else is that every single day that goes by, we seem to add more people. The rate that we're adding people is starting to increase, the rate that we're accumulating new orders, the rate that people seem to be understanding what the new marketing plan is, and the resilience of our whole force out there being able to cope with not having the shopping cart in place, and so we are still having to accomplish all of that with something that is less than desirable. You know, it is it's awkward the way we're doing it right now. We thought, as I said last week, that we would by the middle of this week have a market basket in place, a shopping cart in place, and it has not happened as of yet. But we are coping, and I just do appreciate everybody, and especially the leadership in the field, for helping people work through what's ordinarily a kind of an awkward process. So to tell you where we're at, we're turning everything around very quickly. As far as I know, and maybe Eric, you can speak to this a little bit, how long it takes to get an order processed, but I can tell you that every morning, if we get the order in by noon, it's going out the same day. And so we are able to turn things around very, very quickly. The same thing is true with all of the upgrades and the repairs and so forth. They are being turned around just about as fast as we can get them in. There's usually maybe a day or 2 days, at most 3 days, and they're turned around. And partly the reason for that is we don't just repair and upgrade. We also do a diagnostic report on them to make sure that we really understand what has gone on in the field, because it's going to help us as we move forward to be sure we maintain the really top quality that we can possibly do. So Eric, I'm going to ask you if you could just kind of step in here a little bit and talk about how long it takes to get things through the office, and if there's anything people need to know in that process.
It's actually gone very well lately. Now that we are getting more in tune, I guess you'd say, and getting our systems in place, the orders go through really quickly. If you're calling and getting a hold of Michaela, she's processing almost immediately. And if you're going through the website, the order forms, they're processed as soon as they're seen. And so it really is happening almost instantaneously.
And we have continued to upgrade and are continuing to try to upgrade all of the documents in the website. And as I know, when people get in there are still things that are old and some things new, some things you haven't been able to get to yet. Talk about what your plans and what your thinking is on that.
Well, we are just kind of going through piece by piece and taking out some of the things that don't make sense anymore, and really going to that to the documents page is where the most current versions of things are, and but the calls are being updated. So if you send people to listen to those, they're all updated, and we've taken down anything kind of pre-soft launch so that we don't confuse people with if they happen to get into some older calls or older videos where we're talking about things that don't pertain anymore. So all of that has been updated.
Okay, I pulled up on my replicated website just to kind of show people where some of these documents are located, because that's always a little bit of a question. So hopefully everybody can see there, and I'm going to try to do it, Eric, and if I go wrong, you remind me where I'm supposed to go.
Okay.
So so first of all, let me get something here so I can show the pointer. Oops. Okay. So as I move along here, you see up at the top is an authorized dealer. And to show you where all of these videos and things are at, clicking on the authorized dealer should get me where I need to go. I'm not doing it. There we go.
Yep. I think if you're the pointer, it doesn't, or if you're a marker, it doesn't work.
Yep. So it is now getting into the back room, the back part of the office, the dealer part of the office. And as you can see now, because people are asking where we can actually see the dealer files and the video files, is that down on the video file in the lower, more off to the right, left side, we click on video files, and this takes a little while. I can see when we're going through extra steps here, and it will load in a second. It loaded a lot faster when I did it by myself.
You're also streaming at the same time.
Yep. And so now we're going down, and you're seeing as we just go down in this to get to the webinar recording, and here is the webinar recordings. Here is the one for the last week where we actually presented that one-page marketing plan. And as we can see as we move down, there are about 4 of them on here, mostly dealing with all of the things that we have done in March. We probably will do something about keeping the most significant ones, but at least we will have the current ones, the current month, the current 4 or 5 on the website, and then maybe do something about putting an archive in or something else so it just doesn't get too complicated. You got any specific plans for what you're going to do with this in the future?
Nope.
Thank you. All right. Okay, so now where do I go then to get the audios?
If you go back to the just go back a page. So just click back, Yep.
Okay, so
Down on the left side, you see conference calls.
okay, conference calls, and that's where we can go to get the audio portion and also the other two. So I'm not going to reload those, but so the conference calls are here, the video files are there, and as quickly as we can get them to you, I understand that you are getting them up. Certainly by the next day they're up. Is that correct?
Sure. Yep.
All right. So anybody right now, a panel, has anybody got a question about that we can talk about while we've got this up here?
Yes. Guess who?
Go ahead, Lori.
The one-page marketing plan, is that just in the video on the webinar, or is there a place where you can actually get a hard copy of that as a document?
I haven't put that up yet. I'm in the middle of rewriting it. Maybe like we were talking about putting it in reverse order or flipping the order. I kind of agree with that. And there's some edits to it that need to be done. So I have not had a chance to do that. It should be up this week though.
Okay, it's just, I've had some calls of people telling me they can't find it, and so I email it to them, but as long as I know it's not on there right now, that's.
Yeah, yep.
And you know, in a way, I really like that, Lori. I almost, in some cases, I really almost think we give them too much information, because I really want the leaders involved with their people. I really want you guys as leaders to be helping people read and understand what it is they're looking at, and still at the same time disseminate the information. So it needs to be on our website, don't get me wrong, but I really like the fact that people are calling and talking, and you're made yourself available, as a number of other people have, to say that they will help people work their way through this new marketing plan.
And that is, can I just quickly, I want to say, we Michaela is answering the phone, and I overhear some of her conversations about with questions that people have. And a lot of times we're telling them they're questions that really need to be answered by upline. And she got a call the other day, and someone was asking what the best way to put someone new in. Should I go under me directly, or should it go under this new person I have growing, or what's the best way to kind of strategize? And so we're getting the sales managers more and more involved for two reasons. One, Bill, like you say, just that communication and the leadership, and two, we don't have the time with as many calls as we have to be able to give that kind of.
Yeah, and Eric brings up a very good point, because part of the new strategy that we have is to try to be able to get sales managers more involved, because you're not going to get really the best information when it comes to strategy from somebody who has never done it.
Right.
What you really need is to be working as teams out in the field, so that we get the Sherry's input and the Charlie's input and the Lori's input and the Ken's input with their people, because each group has its own personality. They each work it in a slightly different manner, and when you have somebody that's never done it, all they can do is, and they don't know the person that they're really talking to, they're not getting very good information. The thing that's going to make us strong is by strengthening the sales manager position. That's why we've done the things we've done, to be sure that we get leaders in those sales manager positions, so that they can help develop their own groups with their own personalities.
Can I expound on your idea?
Sure.
I think your idea is great, and I think what we should do is we should have 1 day advance notice before things are posted, so that we can personally send them to everybody and say, hey, if you want to keep your guys ahead of the curve, send this on to them to get them active. That's a way to activate them too. Pass it down the line, and they feel special because they got it before it was general public. And I think it's a great concept.
It's a great idea, and the key idea is somebody told me once, how do you know if you're a leader? Well, if you turn around and there's nobody following you, you're not a leader. You know, you have to have people that are listening to you, that are coming to you for help. And the way you do that is by offering something of value so that they want to come. You can't make people come to you if they don't want to. And I know Ken that's something that you do on a really regular basis, you and Mary, because you have developed close relationships with everybody in your organization. Talk about the value and how you do that.
Well, you know, we really aren't in direct marketing. We're in relationship marketing, and if you don't build relationships, you don't have any marketing. And so that's what we've done over the years, and we stay in touch with people, and we stay in touch with our customers, our retail customers. Some of those become your best dealers. And so, you know, we work at it. We've always done that, and it's just good business. And so we make ourselves available. Most of our people have my cell phone number, and they'll text me first and say, hey, is this a good time? And I'll answer them and get back.
Well, I think you're being a little bit modest in the effort that you put into it, because I've seen what you and Mary do. You not only do it, but you have a methodology. You have regular rotations where you contact people where you haven't heard from them a while. You are reaching out. You're not just sitting back and hoping somebody is going to call you. You're proactive. It is a function of the way in which you do business, is to keep in contact and not allow people just to contact you.
Well, just to give you an example, I spent most of last night laying out April. And the first 3 days of April, I probably got 35 or 40 calls. Most of those are old or current dealers. And, you know, I just start off every month recontacting these people. Some of them want to hear from you, some of them don't. But you know, it's the ones that do that you're working with, and so yeah, we work at it, but we plan our month in advance, we plan our week in advance, we plan our day in advance, and if you don't, you're kind of wandering around in the wilderness out there. You kind of wondering what to do, and that's a bad place to be. It also teaches your people to put a priority on laying out their goals for the next month, or the next 6 months, for the next year. So.
It really does, and I'm more than anything, the point I'm trying to make is nothing happens if you just stand still. You have to do something, and you doing something as a leader is trying to reach out. And even if you're doing something is saying, hey, you won't believe what the crazy company did now, you know, or if somebody doesn't want to talk to you, at least they had to make a conscious decision not to talk to you.
That's
but
right.
you are forcing the conversation by doing that. And somebody that's got a really tough problem in doing that is Sherry, because Sherry has got a big group on both sides. She has people in Chicago, she's got people in Jersey, and she's got people in California, and that means that she just can't let things happen. Sherry, talk about how you kind of keep in contact and how you do it a little bit.
Yeah, just like what Ken said, you really reach out. And when we actually decided to do our soft pre-launch, then I started reaching out from all areas, from every state. I don't necessarily just focus on one area or one leader, but you just have to really reach out, because sometimes a number of them, because the organization is so huge now, a number of them are orphaned because their sales managers are not really active. So we have to take the active role of just helping them get going again. It's like a baby. You hold them by the hand again, little by little, and every day, if they have questions, they could just call us. At any time I cannot answer my phone, or they text me something, as soon as I'm free, I return those calls. I return those texts, so that they know we are there for them. We are there to help them. And today, they're having a little bit tough time still ordering. So I think by this month, they will be getting used to the new system that we have. It's not the perfect system yet, like Erica said, but it's much, much improved. And just, a leader, the function of a leader, Bill, is to really produce other leaders, not followers.
Yep.
So
Well,
we have to be able to teach them also.
yeah, we have unusual challenges right now because of the pause that we took and the fact that we've now made a change. And there will be people that don't like the change, and they will move on to do something else. And so it's a real challenge for a leader right now to be able to reach down beyond their open group. Number one, focus on your open group. Number two, the people that have become sales managers under you are also related to you, and so you're kind of working past them. And, we've had a lot of conversations because of the fact that we start over and just as we're regaining our inertia, we've got a lot of people that are not active. We really noticed that this month when we came to the end of the month. And there's always a question, how much time do you spend helping other people? I can tell every leader in this organization right now, the more time that you spend helping somebody, regardless of which group they are in, this thing will shake out. This thing will, in 2 or 3 or 4 months, people who are not providing support will either decide that they are going to provide support, or their people will move on. We're not going to do anything. We're just keeping the structure the same as it was. We're keeping the plan and all the promises and everything that we said we were going to do the same. But it's now up to people to decide how active they're going to become. And the degree that they become active is going to be a function of whether they've got a leader reaching out to them. So I would encourage you, you know who the leaders are in your group, whether they're even 2 or 3 generations down below you. Those are the ones you work with first, because those are the people that will spread the information first. And no matter how good a website we make, no matter how much effort we put into it, information is still sped through networking. That is the power of networking. And so the power that you have as a leader and the example that you give by reaching out and helping people understand and making yourself available, that's what's really going to cause the rapid growth to take place. And by the way, the rapid growth is already starting to take place. I mean, we only started this thing 3 weeks ago. And when you stop and think about it, and in just that period of time, every day that goes, we see something in the order, and the percentage may not be right, but every day our growth is like 30% over the previous day or the previous average of a couple, 3 days. A 30% growth rate means you double your size every quarter. And so that is a very healthy way to come back. And so we are right on course for where we need to be. So got a couple other points that we're going to make. One of the things that our goals this month is number one, we're continuing to bring our manufacturing people back. We're continuing to build our inventory up. We still have limited numbers of Tempest, and people have been talking about when to use a Tempest and when not to use a Tempest. Remember, the core product that we have today is the Element, and most people, when they use the product, use the Element and don't even use the full capacity of it. The Tempest is good if you've got a good, solid customer, somebody that you've got a good relationship with, because they're going to have to remember the speed at which that cleans the air is higher than the speed of a Element, which means that there's a lot more instruction, a lot more teaching that has to be done, so people don't get into the idea of saying, I don't like the smell, because they're doing it too quickly. That's why we have multiple things. And so right now we do have Elements and we do have Tempests, but the Tempests may become a little bit more short in demand as we're picking up speed in the production. They are going slower than the Elements are. So I would encourage people to be able to do that with and remember that everything that we have done has been with the Element so far. Lori, did I see you have a question?
Yes. I ordered some Tempests and they came in an Element box. So I just wanted to point out that some people are confusing, thinking that they're getting the Elements when they're actually the Tempests.
We did that for you, Lori, because we knew that you could tell the difference. We are not doing that in general. And so there was a couple of days when we wanted to get you your product, and I knew that you knew enough to take a look at what it said on the outside. So I think you may be one of the very few that got them in the mix box. But thank you for noticing. At least you're reading what you've got when it comes to you. A good deal. It's really good. So that's where we're at, guys. We are really gaining, and the month is going. We're going to close it very smooth. This is going to be this will be the first time we've closed a month. I can tell you that we probably will have people placing orders all this weekend, because last night was technically the end of the month. And so we will be finishing up those orders and taking those orders on Monday like we always have. But I expect that we're going to have a very clean, very smooth end of the month. And I know that a lot of people are out there concerned about qualifications. Remember, all the qualifications and everything were 50% of what the normal qualifications are. And we probably will take a look at that and make sure that the people that are really doing the work are getting the compensation that they deserve. So
Bill, for April, are we back to the normal qualifications?
No, we're going to go 50% again next month, for one more month.
For April, you mean?
For April.
Okay, and also if we will have a promotion, I think it's a good idea to have it early on so that they could get motivated. Because usually we put the promotion almost at the middle of the month. So if we could do it possible, I think it will help. Sure. You want the promotion for the month at the beginning of the month? How rare is that? It sounds to me like a very good idea. Yes. All right. Appreciate that. So panel, let's just kind of go around the panel and see if anybody has questions that they're being asked or subjects that we really need to address this morning. And I promised Lori I would not start with her, because I always start with her. And so Sherry, could I start with you? Have you got a question you'd like to address? The first thing is a number of our dealers are asking that if they have a preferred customer who would like to upgrade within the 30 days, is it okay if we do our marketing plan in such a way that they're also are able to avail of the 777 if they do upgrade within the 30 days? Okay, that's a good point. We'll take a look at it. Obviously the reason for trying to encourage people to get started with that 777 is to give them a good discount for making a decision. And so you need to have a reward out there, because we'd like people to make the decision as quick as they can and not delay as long as they can. But we'll take it, we'll consider it. I'm planning to have another meeting of the committee here pretty quick to take a look at things, and we'll talk about it then. Good point. Let's see, I can pick somebody. Ken, how about you?
First of all, I want to congratulate Mickey Anderson in Tennessee. Signed up his first preferred customer yesterday, and Eric helped us with that, and he's really excited about that, and I know that everybody should be. And so I don't really have a question, just wanted to do a shout out to Mickey.
Well, I'm going to just comment on the preferred customer thing. We are internally adapting to try to figure out how we're going to be able to keep track of times and things like that. And so we're kind of been looking at it. I've been surprised how many preferred customers have already come in. I think that preferred customer and the idea of it being a lead generation program, I think is going to be very, very big. There's so many people that don't really want to get involved with a network company, but like the product, and they don't mind sharing that product with somebody else, or telling them what that is. And if we can make this thing act like a lead generation program, because they do earn a free naturalizer out of it, an element out of it, that's pretty great. And so I think that's we're gonna see that program really go. Congratulations, by the way, Mickey. And I don't know, Mickey may be the other Ken and Mary that I've got on my panel today. If so, congratulations. How about John and you and Barb? You got a question or a comment?
I do actually. A customer in the past, can we call them up and say, hey, there's a new program and I want to let you know that you are now a preferred customer. And with a preferred customer, if you give any other people the information and they happen to get on my website and purchase, I will send you a free, it's just, I don't know. Can we make them preferred customers now, convert them without doing anything else and just let them know?
We don't have a mechanism for that, but that's a really good idea. And so give us a little bit here to get a little more stabilized, and we will take a good look at that, because why not? I mean, they are preferred. Yeah. And so we need to take a look at what the ramifications are of that from the marketing plan, but we will take a look at it.
It's not time now because we got too much to do.
Yep.
But in the future, I think that if we would enhance the fact that we're 3 watts and show the wattages of some of the other ones, and we could say the energy you save goes back into the air where it works for your health. The energy you save keeps money in your pocket, and it'll pay for itself. I don't know if it'll pay for itself, but if we could, maybe it takes 77 years to pay for itself, but if we could come close to doing something, I think it's something we could accent that we haven't been. Just a thought.
Okay. And by the way, you might be surprised how quickly the cost of that energy it does pay for it. It is
really.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should do a chart later on.
Yeah. Maybe we will. We'll take a good look at that. Lori, not you, Lori G. Dave and Lori.
No, I don't have any questions at all.
Okay, no problem. Not at all. And so now let me go to Lori G.
Okay. Now, you had said that if orders are placed by noon, that they should go out that same day. What time zone is noon?
There is only one time zone, and that is Eastern time zone. It's a zone that I live in, and so that is the time zone.
Okay, I just
and that's not an absolute either. I want to be clear about that, because if we get bombed with orders right all at noon, and it may not, because we're at the mercy of when they come pick up the shipment. And but in general, we're running that close, and that really means that we're not delayed in getting anything out the door. And that's the point I'm really trying to make.
Okay. The other thing was on the promotion requirements. I've got conflicting numbers for master dealer. It was 1,000 group PV or an R3, or is it and an R3? Because it was one way, and now I'm seeing it's and an R3. So
for promotion,
yes,
it is plus. You need to have an R3.
Okay, all right, because that was different before. Okay, I just wanted to clarify that. Also, I noticed that we raised the price of our single units by $1.
Yes, we did. You can always give the customer back $1, but let me tell you, it reduces the number of questions about why 129. Why not an even number? Everything else we're doing is even numbers, and so if you want to, you can. Anybody that questions, you can just hand them $1.
I just wanted to point out that snuck in on me, and it surprised me, but it actually makes more sense with commissions too. You're working with even numbers.
Yes. All right.
I was so happy to see that change, Bill.
I'm sorry, Sherry?
I was so happy to see the change. I've been waiting for that 130 to come out for a long time.
Yes. Well, it does make it a little easier. And by the way, that 130 does encourage people to buy multiples. It really encourages people to get into that whole house system. And 130 does sound like a lot more than 129.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
Okay, I had a question come up from one of my dealers, and she has a person that she had signed up previous who never was active really, and he forgot his how to log into his website as far as the what he put after the / on the website. and how do we locate that? And also, is there a way that we can get a mailing address for a dealer that has been inactive that we could mail some information to if they change phone numbers?
Eric, I'm going to ask you to help me out on that. What's
Sure.
the best way for them to do that?
Just call in and ask. We can look it up for you. There's really, I don't think there's any way to look it up yourself, but if whoever's missing that information, we can find it and give it out.
And by the way, that is a deliberate thing that we did with the information that you can get in the back office, because if you had a list that had mailing addresses on it, everybody would join, look down the line, get your mailing addresses, and your mailbox would be full of junk mail. And so we just didn't make it that easy for them.
Okay.
Bill, can I interject on that a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
On my phone, with every dealer that I have their dealer number and I have their replicated website link on my phone, so that if there's ever a question or I find somebody else that wants to purchase a product under one of my other people, I can bring up their websites on my computer and order it from their site. So I think from a leadership standpoint, I always ask my dealers, what is your website name? I know what their dealer numbers are, and I have that available to me all the time, and it's on my phone.
You know, and that's such a good idea. I would be willing to bet that every panelist that I've got on here right now, I know that Ken and Mary have got, they've got the shirt size, I think, of every one of their dealers. But they know them because they're in contact with them and because they are leaders. Really, really good point. Appreciate that. Dave Ball.
Yes.
Did you?
That was a question.
Okay.
And the other was, we had a new dealer we enrolled on Monday, and he went through on her computer and filled out the application, and he went PayPal, and it went through. She got the approval and everything, but we were having a difficult time linking that over, and Michaela was able on Tuesday to get that corrected. But are we closer to that actually working from their website yet, or from their laptop?
With PayPal, there are always a lot of issues, and it's not our issues necessarily; it's their security issues, because they are one of the most security-conscious companies in the entire world. I swear, our problems will get fixed when we are able to get our own shopping cart. And when we get our own shopping cart, a lot of those things are going to go. And that is something that we still think is imminent, but we don't have it in place yet. And I sound like a broken record, but we really think it's going to happen next week.
Well, Michaela is really an awesome lady to work with, and she is an asset to the company.
I'll let her know that. She really cares and puts everything she can into helping people out. She's fun to work with.
I bet she is.
Okay, Eric, have I got any subject that you think I need to be hitting on that I have forgotten? We've talked about, I want to go back and reiterate again about the importance, I think, of offering people the opportunity to upgrade. I had another customer this last week that has got a lot of inventory, and to get them started, we're going to get it all upgraded. And we are upgrading it at this point. We're upgrading to enhanced units, and that gives them really the best of both worlds almost. It's not an Element. It doesn't have the thumb wheel. It doesn't have the appearance, but from a functionality standpoint, the enhanced unit really did great. And a lot of people out there are sitting where they've got old inventory, where they don't even have enhanced units, and they haven't done anything for a while. And if it means getting them started, I would certainly recommend that you tell them to contact the company, get an RMA in, and go the enhanced route to get some inventory, just to start getting a feel for how different the machines are. Because the enhanced unit really did a very good job. We are not continuing to produce the enhanced units anymore. We may at some point have some special opportunities to do it, because we've had a lot of people make inquiry about them because they liked them. And so we're going to maybe make some decisions about that in the future. But anything we can do, anything that needs to be done, where you've got somebody stalled for a reason and you've reached out to them, it's very important that you reach upline or that you reach the office. The office is really in tune with the concept and really helping to do everything that they can do to promote getting people active again, because we know that once they get active and they get past some minor roadblock, that they're going to be more powerful because they're already trained, they already know, they're already motivated, and that's the right thing to do. So I would encourage everybody to be very proactive, and we've got 1 more month to go. We've got a lot of things to do before we really get ready to start building up to launch, but I think things are going very, very well. Has anybody on the panel got, Rick Stein, I don't believe I hit you on this call. You got a question?
Well, John answered one of them that I had. The other one I had regarding the literature, I have found a use for the postcard size things you sent out. Is that discontinued, or do we just download the flyer and print it ourselves in a postcard form, or what would that do?
Eric?
Well, right now we some of them are they're out of inventory. As we start to I guess start to grow again, we'll bring some of them back to in real print form. But at this point, most of those specialty brochures are out of stock.
Gotcha. All right, that answers the question.
Okay, anybody else? Well, super. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. I just want to tell everybody, I think we're really amazingly on schedule. If I would have tried to predict whether or not we could get up and get running this quick, basically after we had kind of stopped doing everything and would not have problems, I don't think I could have predicted it. And honestly, I tell you that I don't think we could do it really on ourselves. One thing that I have been so keenly aware of in this whole process is the fact that God's really had his hand in this whole operation, keeping us from doing things that we shouldn't do. I get frustrated sometimes because things are not going according to my schedule, and I have to stand back sometimes and say, it's really not my schedule that matters here. God's got a plan for this company, and he's got a plan to help people change their lives from an environmental standpoint, from a health standpoint, from a business standpoint, and all of the things that we have done, all the pieces that have come together with the contributions of all of the people that worked on changing the marketing plan, all the people that have really helped give us feedback about the product. Now we are so much stronger than we were just a few months ago. And that's really, in my opinion, part of what God's got in plan for us. We're going to be a very powerful company. We're going to be a very successful company, but not in the way most people think. We're going to be successful because we actually are going to change some people's lives. And we're going to be answers to people's prayer. And whether we like it or not, that's a strange kind of a thought to think that we might be the answer rather than the recipient. But that's true. God uses a lot of people for a lot of different ways. I think we have to be conscious and continue to ask that for his blessing, and to ask that he keep us in his hand and give us the guidance. So as we wrap this up today, why don't we just give thanks for the blessings that we've gotten. Father, we just come today so grateful for all of the blessings, and so grateful for all of the people that you brought, and for all of the help and the guidance that you have given us. And Father, we just ask that you continue to guide us, continue to bless these people, continue to give knowledge and insight to the leadership in the field and the office and the organization as a whole. Father, never let us forget the source of all of our strength and all of our blessings. Father, we just ask that you continue to bless us in Jesus' name. Amen. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here this Saturday. I'm going to wrap up the recording on this thing, and Eric will be making it available as quickly as I can get him to him, certainly by the first of the weekend. So God bless everybody, and thank you so much.